The horse and buggy is often mentioned as the progenitor of the auto. But the automobile was far more than a mere carriage without a horse. It's the bicycle that rightfully deserves credit, or the blame, you be the judge, for the emergence of the automotive industry, and recognition of the bicycle's importance in automotive history is long overdue. Anyone familiar with antique bicycles can recognize that the original Benz motor wagon, now accepted as the world's first automobile, bears a striking resemblance to a sociable tricycle. Such sociables carried 2 or more riders and were common years before the Benz was built. Since much of everything on wheels in the 1800s was being hauled by the horse, it's easy to understand why early vehicles without all beds are called horseless carriages. As a result, the contribution of the bicycle has all but disappeared from the automotive record. By the late 1800s, the bicycle was a proven conveyance. Most of the engineering details that would later appear in cars had already been worked out on the bicycle. Among these were welding techniques, mass assembly, lightweight construction, plating technology, tire technology, rubber compounds, ball bearings, painting techniques, paint composition, suspension technology, steering, differential drive, multi-speed transmissions, braking systems, chain drives, shaft drives, bevel gears, gear technology, wire spoke wheels, freewheeling, worm screw drives, vehicle lighting, and more. Socially, the bicycle provided a freedom of movement that caused people to think about transportation in ways they had never thought before. No longer were individuals confined to the city. They could now explore the open road and unknown territory. Only 2 problems stifled even wider acceptance. Good roads were few and far between, and riders got tired. The problem of poor roads was tackled by the League of American Wheelmen, the LAW, and a bicycle manufacturer, Colonel Albert Pope, who helped found the League in 1880. Various bicycle-based contraptions with some form of motorization have been rumored as far back as the beginning of the 1800s. One of the most noted was S.H. Roper's steam-powered bicycle, built in 1863. Also about this time, internal combustion engines were being tinkered with and tried out on bicycles. The most famous of this was built by Daimler in 1885. It inspired Benz to build his vehicle on 3 wheels. Internal combustion engines are now the Benz Daimler and long vehicle, a vehicle largely constructed in the Columbia bicycle plant with assistance from Columbia's founder, Colonel Albert Pope, took the vast majority of their overall construction from the bicycle. The motorized sociable had indeed opened the doors for the automobile. Colonel Pope was already responsible for starting America's first bicycle company in 1877. The Pope Bicycle Company boasted one of the largest mass assembly operations in the world, growing to employ over 10,000 people, mainly due to the bicycle, by 1897. Pope's firm pioneered various improved technologies which made his operation an ideal candidate for auto manufacturing. Although Henry Ford is given praise for mass assembly, Pope's bicycle mass assembly systems and factory techniques served as a blueprint for almost all of the auto industry. When Pope combined his factory savvy with ready-made bike technology, he was ready for the auto business in a big way, and eventually had automotive factories located in no less than 4 U.S. cities. For a time, the Pope Empire joined other bicycle makers to form the American Bicycle Company. Many names associated with bicycles in this trust became famous automobile men and marks. Countless examples of innovative bicycle technology were directly employed in the development of the automobile. In the 1890s, Pierce, Columbia, Iver Johnson, and other manufacturers began to introduce chainless, shaft-driven bicycles. While not hugely popular on bikes, shaft drive technology was the one vital development that liberated autos from drive chains. It enabled autos to achieve great speeds with substantially reduced vibration and made expansion of the automotive industry itself possible. When shaft drive and gearing was coupled with the 1878 invention of the tricycle differential by James Starley, a package tailor-made for the auto emerged. What was the differential necessary on a bicycle? The answer is simple. The sociable and other adult tricycles of the day demanded a rear differential for ease of operation, distribution of power, and because when cornering, the two wheels on the same axle rotate at different speeds. The next step in the progression of drive shafts, gears, and differentials was the development of transmissions. Fortunately, this too was already well underway in the bicycle industry. Even the idea of an automatic, or initially a semi-automatic transmission, was in use on bicycles long before it was ever dreamed of for automobiles. Scottish engineer R. W. Thomson invented crude pneumatic tires for a bicycle in 1845. But for reasons unknown, Thomson never successfully marketed his idea. It's Irish veterinary surgeon James Boyd Dunlop, who the world remembers as the person who discovered the comfort of air-filled tires. Dunlop, it is said, originally developed the tires for his son's tricycle. But once the world became convinced that anybody could ride faster with less effort and greater comfort on pneumatics, hard, solid tires disappeared forever. Every cyclist and ultimately every motorist became forever hooked on inflatable tires. The combination of Dunlop's pneumatic tire, Michelin's detachable pneumatic 1891, and Palmer's cotton cord reinforcement of 1892 led to the invention of the true automotive tire. When these milestones in bicycle technology were coupled with the wire spoke wheel, another bicycle invention, all became strategic factors in the success of the automobile. Thus, the greater rubber and tire industry we know today sprang directly from these roots. Only the huge demand for good bicycle tires during the late 1800s made it possible for ready-made auto tire technology. Bicycle wheels and tires were regularly used on autos from the beginning until well after the auto industry was underway. Perhaps the most notable example of such bicycle wheel use was Henry Ford's quadricycle car. Note how the name pays homage to cycles rather than horses. Ford himself was said to be something of an excellent bicycle mechanic. One official account holds that the entire Ford Auto episode grew out of an idea to motorize the bicycle with which Mr. Ford was experimenting. The quadricycle, so the story goes, was built due to the ungainly weight distribution of the bicycle with the motor. In 1913, auto accessories salesman Vincent Bendix attended the annual bicycle trade show in Chicago. Here, Bendix became fascinated by the display of Morrow coaster brakes made by the Eclipse sewing machine company. Bendix was quick to realize other possible applications of the design and approached Eclipse manufacturing with his own idea. His concept was to enlarge the Morrow threaded driver and to incorporate it into a mechanical starter for automobiles. Voila! Thus, the Bendix electric self-starter drive was born, and the company it spawned became one of the largest in the auto and aviation industries. To this day, an automotive starter drive is known as a Bendix, and a bicycle coaster brake bearing the name continues to be made. I'm gonna listen to it. Is it ready?
Mm-hmm.
The horse and buggy is often mentioned as a progenitor of the auto, but the automobile was far more than a mere carriage. No, I don't want to do it. That sounds stupid.
That sounds awesome.
No.
That sounds great. You should just
No,
finish
that's it. It's the bicycle that rightfully deserves credit for the or the blame you be the judge.